In order to wrap this whole year up, I have to tell you, it was whack. But it had also some good points. Guys, do you know who that dude is? Well, that's Didrik. He's my executive producer. Become like Didrik. Check out the first link in the description down below. It leads you to my Patreon page. If you want to become an executive producer, you're going to be mentioned like him in the beginning of each video. So, thanks Didrik for supporting my channel and being my executive producer. You're the real MVP. Let's get cracking with the video. Yes everyone, it's Borum and welcome to my latest video. And today, well, it's the first video of the new year, so happy late new year. I hope it's not too late because it's still January, but whatever guys. I couldn't wait to do this video because I couldn't wait to finish 2020. Let's be honest here, everyone, literally every one of us out there had a lot of difficulties in this year, and to be honest with you, I cannot blame you. This year has been such a challenge, to say the very, very least. I'm sitting here because I want to speak with you about my own personal verdict of this whole year. Some people might say, well, it hasn't been actually that bad, was it? But was it for me as a whole a completely bad thing? Well, yes, but actually, yeah, it was. But let's start here with the bad things. So one of the worst things what happened in this year was, of course, the thing called COVID-19, which has still not disappeared yet, even though it shows the proper direction with the vaccinations and so on. But one thing what annoyed me the most is that it was just such an up and down. The worst was when I was not able to go to the university, or as I like to call it, university. I still am not going to the university. I'm not attending classes there. I'm not attending them online, and it just became so much more difficult with my own self-discipline to participate in them, to keep on going, because if you're there, you're motivated, you're willing to learn something, but if you're at home, yeah, you tend to be kind of lazy, but then you're not, and it is then just such a big challenge in general to work consistently on your own stuff. And to be honest with you, yes, I'm saying this for all the time, I just grew tired of it. Even though I'm still continuing it, it just gets worse day by day, and it led all the way to me just basically passing out and just not knowing what was going on. I fell into severe depressions. I had problems with myself to motivate, and it just was not a pleasure, and it just didn't get better because the whole summer I stayed at home. I just couldn't do a lot of stuff. I mean, I was able to go outside, I was able to meet my friends, because then the restrictions were at an all-time low for this whole year. Like, we were looking forward for it, but then it was not safe enough to travel abroad. This whole quarantine, e-learning, just messed up my whole daily routine. And I didn't like, and I still don't like, to commute 1.5 hours to the university in one way. This is insane. And it is for me easier to get up a little bit later, just to change my whole daily routine. But the studying part, the focusing on the stuff what you have to learn, is difficult. The other negative is that everything is so uncertain. The uncertainty makes even my job prospects and also everything postponed, everything what I planned, like for the midterm, like for a little bit more than 6 months or maybe like 1 year, that everything has to be postponed, like everything postponed to a point where everything will be able. And with the situation going here on, with the politicians just not being sure what to decide, what is right for the country, makes it everything a lot worse, and it just drives me crazy. And that's why I'm trying to deter myself from thinking about it by doing some other things, like producing videos. But again, there were some kind of things like exams and preparations and lots of homework and going to work as well. Yeah, I still have a part-time job that I have to fulfill. It makes it difficult, and I just get to the point where I have to decide about my priorities. And of course, education is the number one, and the second is to get some money in. And of course the last is the hobby, even though it helps me a lot to overcome this whole depression and stuff. I even managed to get even money with this stuff what I do here on the internet, and that is because I created in 2020 my Patreon account. And to be honest with you, it was one of the decisions. I never thought that it was actually going to become some sort of source where I get even the slightest bit of income. And there's like the problem, not just that I'm not able to concentrate myself or that I'm not able to commit myself to do multiple things at the same time. Yes, it's very hard. I'm not able to multitask, and it's for me very hard to balance everything, especially when you have friends and when you have family members who want things from you, who want to hang out with them, do things with them. And it's just so hard when you have only a little bit of free time and then you want to pursue your own thing, then you have your degree, then you have to work. It just gets all into my brain and it eats me from there. It eats me from the inside, and it makes my life a lot more difficult to plan. Even though I want to do all the things at the same time, it's just so hard to please everyone, and seriously, I've honestly no idea how to cope with it. And then the third thing, I'm not able to properly travel. Yes guys, I mean, let's be honest, I've been to Belgrade and I've been to Liechtenstein during this COVID summer. Well, okay, to Belgrade this was like basically the last couple of days of summer, even though it was already technically autumn, but it was like still very warm, and I really enjoyed the warm weather, but the travel itself was not pleasant at all. I really did not enjoy traveling with a mask, with all those restrictions, and then just when you want to go for a night out, let's say you want to have dinner, well, good luck that you can actually have dinner until 9 o'clock, because then you need to eat it outside, and then it gets colder, and then it's not enjoyable, and it is just a stupid thing. It really is stupid. I planned so many other things this summer, but then in the end I couldn't go actually anywhere, even though I had like 4 weeks of paid leave from my company. I mean, that's wonderful. When can I get even 4 weeks of paid leave? This is insane. But then when I spent here in my backyard, in my house at the time, I met up with friends, I was in the pool, I had some kind of fun, but it was not the same. I was not even near as productive as I wished to be. And I always promised myself, I want to change, but then it's just talking to my brain and not doing anything. The thing what makes it a lot better is just do it. Just do it is the motto. If you want to pursue things in your life where you just do the things you want and not postpone it, not procrastinate, just do it. No matter how it comes out, just do it. Just like I do it here right now. I think I just postponed and procrastinated so much in my life that, to be honest with you guys, it just became so tiring and so annoying. Now I'm here on the point. I have a semester break, I still work, but I work like quite less now because it's again a lockdown. I'm not going to work at all, and I am then most of the time at home. I cannot do anything. I cannot meet up with friends, I cannot go to restaurants, I cannot go to bars. There are hardly any things what I can do. I can only go to the supermarket, I can go to the drugstore, I can go to the hairdresser, I can only do some kind of things, but I'm not allowed to meet up with my friends, because currently I'm only allowed to meet up with 5 people at max, and at max from 2 households. Well, the 2 household rule is just a recommendation, but the thing is, it's a recommendation, so you have to keep yourself with it, otherwise not good. Your friends, like, you can only meet them with masks, and some of them friends, they're so super cautious, and I'm also cautious too, but then with friends you think like, yeah, everything is okay, nothing is that bad, but right now we're in a time where it's just such a big problem, and I wish it's going to change, but to be honest with you, I don't know when it will happen. I just came to an all-time low in my life, and I believe I'm not the only one. But the reason why it happened in the first place was I had so many high expectations for this year. Like, it was just so promising because 2019 wasn't that great for me either. But sadly, COVID-19 just ruined big time. So instead that I'm having a rant here and just quit the video, I have to tell you also the few good things what I had in this year. As I said, I met up with friends, I spent time with them, that's great. But not only that, I actually even managed, even though it was kind of hard, I managed to cross 2 countries out of my 6-country bucket list of the countries I want to visit as soon as possible, namely Israel and Liechtenstein. So, well, one of those was a neighboring country, so it was basically as if you were traveling inside the same country, even though it is cross-border. But the other one, well, this was something what I do not regret even spending 1 penny. Really, it was the highlight of this year. I met up with so many friends. I've been to places where I could not even imagine that I could go, ate great food, met people. I enjoyed the life, even though it was just 1 week and even though it was so super expensive, even for my Swiss pocket. I have to say, it was just amazing. This year could have been so much worse if there was not those travels. But also, the travel to Belgrade, it was not all that bad. I actually managed to meet there also 2 other guys with whom I'm still in contact today. Also with the guys from Israel. I could mention all your names. But you know what? I'm just, like now, I'm putting things, what I've done with you together, how we had fun. And this is all a result what made my year this time, and I'm eternally thankful for that. You actually made my 2020 better than it actually was, even though my expectations were by far not met. Those things I do not take for granted, and I thank you very much for this. All the things going on in 2020 led me to think only about one thing, and this is not to have any expectations. You see, when you have expectations and when they are not met, you're extremely disappointed, you're pissed off, you're just mad at yourself, even though you just often cannot do anything against it because the cards you play are not good in your hands. But at the same time, there are some choices which you actually ruin for yourself, and then you need to think, what did I do wrong? I, for my part, can say I did the best out of 2020 what I could. I don't think that I could have done it better. For this year, for 2021, I didn't take any personal resolutions, no expectations. I just think this will actually make me, on the long run, more content and happier, because if something happens positive when you didn't expect it, it's double time the happiness. True story. In order to wrap this whole year up, I have to tell you, it was whack, but it had also some good points. Alright guys, so if you came until this point so far, please leave me a thumb up. This will actually make my day and show that you support me and that you came until this point so far. Also, instead of writing me some feedback in the comments section below, write me your own personal experience and opinion about the year 2020. I would really like to know your inputs, and I'm going to reply to your comments as well. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't, because I'm not going to make any promises, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to upload more videos in the near future, so if you don't want to miss them, really do yourself a favor and do also me a favor, subscribe. Do you want to stay in touch with me? My Instagram account, my TikTok account and my Discord server are all linked in the description down below. Stay tuned and I hope to see you the next time. Bye bye.